Tamlin had to happen.
Tamlin had to happen for Reese to happen.
Exactly.
But yeah, this is just like, this is it.
This is it.
This is it.
It was. I was rereading it, and I was just kind of like, oh, I love this book so much.
Welcome to Fizz and Fiction.
Glad to have you here. I'm Spencer.
To you, I'm Kristen.
And we're here to drink some fizz, some wine this morning.
Talk about one of our favorite pieces of fiction.
Favorite pieces of fiction. Oh, I like that you have
one. It's just green, so
yeah.
My bad.
Oh, nice. I like that you have the original ones.
Oh.
I don't mind these. I like these better. I like these redone covers better than I like the Throne of Glass.
Throne of Glass ones are just like, this art style is like very...
Yeah, because at least this one, I don't know. It's just the new Throne of Glass ones are too modern.
Yeah.
Compared to the old Throne of Glass ones.
And they're just, the art is just so pretty on these.
I know. They like put the badass women on the front of them.
No.
Like, do it.
So nice.
But we're here to talk about ACOMAF. A Court of Mist and Fury.
Just one of the best books.
Oh my gosh. I just reread it. And
I only got halfway through the read, but...
And it's so good. It's just a good book.
You know, honestly, rereading it made me realize how, like, sad I am that, like, they're not in the second half of the ACOTAR series, really.
Oh, yeah, because they're like
they're, like, side characters.
They're side characters.
And it makes me so sad because, like...
Yeah.
I love their dynamic.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I will say, it's interesting because, like... It's different than her other series. Because, like, in Throne of Glass, you have, like, all the books. And, like, obviously they're, like, mainly about Aelin.
Yeah.
But you get other stuff. But in like, this series, there's a clear divide.
Well, it's written in first person.
Yeah.
It's the only series she has written in first person.
Yeah.
And she even changes to third person when we get to... after the trilogy piece of it.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you realize that. Which is,
I don't think I did.
It's really strange to do that. Like,
yeah.
It's really strange to do that. Because she, like, has, like, almost, like, a full arc in these three, I think she could get away with it.
Yeah.
But these first three are all in first person.
Yeah.
So it's, like, me.
Mm-hmm. It's very different from her other ones.
Yeah.
I think that's why you, like, almost... Not like you get a better connection, but it's, like... It's different. It's different.
Yeah.
But this is the...
Book 2 in the ACOTAR series. Sorry, in case you don't understand what we're talking about.
Oh, sorry. If you didn't recognize these covers.
By Sarah J. Maas.
Yes. Yeah, it's a follow-up to A Court of Thorns and Roses, which I'm sure you've seen on TikTok.
If you haven't, you can watch our first.
Yes, we do. We have a
podcast
on the first one, and this is the second one, which for me is the best.
Is the best one.
It's the best one in the whole series, and I know there's like more to come, but
right now,
it is the best one in this whole series. Like I have five. My rating.
5. Oh yeah, 5.
Solid
Easy.
5.
Like 6.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
6 star.
Like, I was rereading it, and I was just like, it's so good.
It's so good. Like, the dynamics are so good. The plot is good. It's just all so
No
good.
notes.
No notes.
No
We
notes.
have notes, but they're all good notes.
Yeah, they're all good notes.
It's just so good.
No notes of improvement. It is so good. Okay, so if you have not read this...
I don't know what to do with you.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with you. Like, get on it.
Get on it.
Go away.
Get out of here.
Come back.
Yeah.
After you've read it.
Yeah.
And tell us all the things that you love about it.
Part.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to do.
Because I have so many favorite parts.
The whole thing.
It's so good. Oh, I'm just like, it's just so good.
It's just so good.
Okay. So, we're going to get into it. Okay. So, we leave the first book.
Yeah.
Under the Mountain has happened.
And the mountains happened. She, like, killed some fairies. She's kind of, like, depressed about that.
Yes. She goes back with Tamlin to the Spring Court because he is her love.
The whole point of the first book is that, like, love can break a curse.
And it did.
And
she loved him.
She loved him.
Yes.
I will defend that.
She did. Like, at that point in her life, she loved him. She broke the curse.
Yeah.
Like, she did all those tasks, and, like, the blight is, like, Amarantha
They
is gone.
kill Amarantha, and then she does die, and they bring her back, and, like, now she's a fae.
Yep.
Which is wild.
Yep.
And so she's getting used to that as well. She's got trauma from killing people. She's getting used to being a fae and what all that entails. And then she also is dealing with, like, this post, like, traumatic thing
Mm-hmm.
with Tamlin and how he's changed because of it.
Yeah.
And he has not changed for the better.
Can we just say, I was rereading this and I was like, so many red flags immediately. Like when she's like up and puking
And he's
just in bed.
she's like, I know he's awake.
Like pretending to be asleep. I'm like, what an asshole. Like,
All he's doing is having sex with her.
Yeah.
And then leaving.
and trying to get her, he's like, have some paints.
Here's some pain.
Hasn't even noticed that she has like no interest in painting right now.
She's like lost all this weight.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's like skin and bones.
And like Ianthe, how do you, is that?
I say Ianthe.
She's like trying to plan a wedding.
Yeah. And I thought it was funny because they don't even talk. I mean, they kind of like talk about like how they got engaged. But it's like flash forward to where it's like 3 months later, they're already engaged. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, we're planning a wedding. It's
Yeah.
like, this seems kind of fast, guys.
And it is fast.
Yeah. I'm
But
like,
she's like, this is what the people want. We'll bring them together, I think.
yeah. And I do appreciate that it happens so fast in the book.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, it kind of gets into it.
Yeah.
And like,
She's having a full-on panic attack.
yeah.
About
And
to walk
she's
down
like
the aisle.
trying to like come into these, she feels different. She's like,
Oh,
I died.
yeah.
She died. And
She has all these powers
She wants
from
to-
all the High Lords, and she doesn't know what the hell to do with them.
they're kind of like creeping up in like random
Where
places.
she gets emotional.
She's like super strong and she's like faster now. She's like breaking doors when she's slamming them too hard.
Yeah.
And Tamlin's just like,
Bye.
yeah.
He's like, I have to go look at this. She's like, can I come? No.
No.
It's not safe.
She wants to go to that village and like help rebuild.
And he finally takes her, and they're like,
no,
we
he
don't
doesn't take her. Lucian takes her.
Lucian. And I do like him.
Yeah,
Lucian. But they're like, we don't need your help. You've done enough, curse breaker.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. And so she goes back to the house and they're
we get to the wedding pretty quickly.
we get to the wedding in like the first 40 pages.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they get to the wedding.
Awful ugly dress. Love that she describes that so well.
Oh, yeah.
A cupcake.
Yeah. And like him, like Tamlin and Ianthe or whatever, they're like, they love it. I'm like, ugh.
I think she likes Tamlin. She's like,
Oh, absolutely. And they get to the wedding, and you get to it very quick. And she's already kind of got this like growing resentment or hesitation towards him because he's not acknowledging anything.
she's like, we'll worry about it later, basically.
Yeah, we'll worry about like we have to deal with. They're all like we have to stand united right now because we're like we just got rid of her and we're rebuilding.
Yeah, it's like the tithe. I have to like be strong. You have to be strong.
Oh, does that happen before the wedding?
The tithe, I think so.
I think it does. It happens pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Oh,
And she like learned like
he sucks so bad.
she gives something.
She gives
gives
jewelry.
like, jewelry to someone to pay for their tithe, and he's like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, he's like,
everyone's gonna expect it.
Yeah, he's like, I gave you that jewelry. How dare you like give that to her? And she was like, I know what it's like to like go hungry.
To be poor, to go hungry.
Yeah,
to,
like sorry,
oh.
she doesn't have the resources to give you your tithe right now.
Yeah,
Like,
and
give her
like
a break.
it's also been hard on them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we get to the wedding very quickly.
Yeah, and she's like dressed. She's like
walking down the aisle.
She's like panicking.
Panic attack, internal panic attack.
Yeah, she's like,
she hesitates.
She's like, no, 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 no.
Yeah, she's like literally screaming out inside her mind, like, help me, help me, help me, save me from this. Yeah. And she hesitates, like physically, she hesitates, and like Tamlin's kind of like,
come on down.
Yeah, he like kind of takes a step forward for her, and then Reese like comes to collect on his deal.
His deal,
because in the first book she made the deal
to like save her life.
Yeah, he was gonna help her if she agreed to like come and like stay with him in his court for 1 week a
every
month.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it had been 3 months. He hadn't called it in. She was like, I hope you just forgot about me.
He did not.
And he comes, and he's like, I'm calling him a deal. Let's go.
Like, no, you're not.
Yeah, and but
like Tam's kind of a bitch about it.
Yeah,
he's like, well, like not about it, but like just in general, like he knows he can't fight Reese because Reese is like super powerful, which is hot,
so strong,
and so he's kind of like he wants to stop him, but he knows he can't.
Yeah,
so he just kind of like looks so weak in that moment.
Oh, absolutely,
it's such an ick, honestly.
It's just like, you can't even stand up for me.
Yeah.
I was about to marry you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So he takes her away.
Takes her away to the night court.
To the night court. Which At first, it's just like...
It's just his, like, town... Not his town hall, but it's his house just, like, above the mountain.
Yeah, like, all you can really see is mountain from there.
Yeah, it's just, like, his perch,
And she's kind of pissed, you know?
Yeah, she throws a shoe at him.
Yeah,
there's two shoes at him. It's real funny.
And he's like, you were the one screaming, help me.
Yeah.
And she's like,
he's, like, in this ugly wedding dress.
And he has her go change. And, like...
It's so good.
The outfit...
And then he's like, we gotta feed you.
Yes.
Yeah, he's like...
Your skin and bones.
Yeah, he's like, I have food.
But, you know, I forgot, like, what the outfit's supposed to look like there. And they're, like, Princess Jasmine outfits.
Yes, they're
and
like
I forgot it was like that.
They're like a certain, like, night court, like, kind of coloring.
Yeah.
But they are, like, really flowy.
They're revealing.
They're not what she would wear in spring court.
Yeah.
Tamil won't let her wear any of that shit.
No, you can see her midriff.
Yeah. What?
That's
Is he
my
scared?
midriff.
You need to go put more clothes on.
Yes.
So she gets there for that first week, and he's like, okay, we're gonna teach you how to, shield me, because he's like, I heard you. Like, screaming for
she was
help.
pissed about that.
Yeah, he's like, well, if you weren't screaming, it's like, down whatever connection.
He's like, sometimes you won't shut up. I can hear you throwing up.
Yes!
He's like, for my sanity.
He's like, I can't sleep.
Shield. Yeah.
So he's like, first we're gonna learn how to shield, and then you're gonna learn how to read. Because she be illiterate.
She's a literate girly.
Yeah. And that's like that whole first week is like her, like just like putting up and down the shields and whatnot.
I think she meets more maybe that first week too.
She does, but she doesn't hang out with her.
Yeah.
Because when I was rereading it, she was like, should I say goodbye to Moore? Or like, I didn't see Moore, and he was like, she was waiting for your invitation. She didn't want to like intrude. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
that's so sweet.
So respectful.
That's the only one that she's met so far.
Yeah. So then he dutifully takes her back, but he's like, practice.
Yep. Takes her back. And then immediately she comes back.
What did you see?
They were like, tell us everything.
They don't care about her.
They do not. She's like, I didn't know I was a spy. And they were like, we just have to use this to our advantage. And they like she's like, you're interrogating me. And they're like, basically.
Yeah.
And they asked her just like all the stuff.
Yeah.
And she like tells them what she knows.
Yeah, which isn't a lot. He didn't show her much.
Yeah, exactly. And then they have, I'm trying to think.
I think he leaves her a few times again.
He does. But then she goes back to, he like, pitches some fit. Because he like breaks the glass and she like shields herself. And she keeps begging, him to train her.
Yeah, she wants to learn.
Yeah, she's like, I have all this power, I need to learn how to use it.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, if everybody knows that's like a threat.
They're gonna like come and take you.
Yeah. And so,
I can't remember what set him off.
And I can't either. And then, I just reread them.
Yeah.
And then she goes back to the night court for her next one. And then over these 3 weeks, she like, loses more weight and like
super skinny.
Super skinny. She's still like waking up in the middle of the night, like all this kind of stuff. She goes back to night court. Again, she's just like practicing her like mental shield.
And I think she like sees Reese even less that time.
She does. She sees Reese less. He's like off doing something, but she's like eating and like
it's okay.
Reading. Yeah, it's like a break, honestly.
She's doing well.
And then she goes back.
Yeah, and this is where shit hits the fan.
It's where shit hits the fan. She goes back and she's like, I can't, because she's like, I'm changed. Yeah. I'm literally changed. I died. I came back to life. I am not that girl that
needed you to save her.
Yes. I'm not a damsel anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I have power and like, I feel it and I want to, she like wants to put it to use.
She wants to help.
Yeah. And so she's like, come to care for like this land.
Yeah, and the people in it.
Exactly. And like at this point, Reese has told her that war is coming.
Yeah, the hybrid or something.
And like she tries to tell Tamlin that, and she's like, no.
Yeah, but he like, won't talk to her about anything important.
And so, like he gets called away, and she's like begging him, take me with you.
Yeah, I can't be in here another week alone.
Yeah, like I can't do it. I'm not made to just like plan parties and just like wear these. He's like has her in dresses because he thinks it's like a good look.
Yeah, she's like a show pony.
Mm-hmm. And then she tries, and then he
tries to follow him.
Yeah, tries to follow him. He's like, that's not happening. And he puts like a ward around the house and locks her in the house. And that's where shit hits the fan.
Because she's like, having like a traumatic experience from like when she was locked under the mountain.
Yeah, she's like, I'm in a cell again.
Yeah.
I can't escape. It's just like PTSD.
Yeah, 100%.
And
she loses it.
Yeah, she loses it. She like wraps herself in like this dark, like her powers just like start to manifest.
Because she can't control them.
She can't control.
No one's teaching her.
Because Tamlin's like, you don't need to train.
Yeah.
And so she does that, and then
oh, her little helper.
Yeah, and then Moore comes. Mm-hmm. And, like, gets her in the house. And, like, oh, yeah, the little helpers, like, take good care of her.
Yeah, like, that was so sweet.
Oh, she's like, she knows that she is just, like, wasting away here.
Yeah.
And so she takes her, and she, like, walks with her for a while into what I assume is, like, the autumn court.
Yeah, one of the two.
And then, Reese shows up and takes her back to the night court, mm-hmm. into, like, the house on the mountain.
Yeah. And she's even skinnier, because she makes a comment that's like, my clothes from before are hanging off me.
Yeah. Tamlin. She's like, you not even notice she's not eating? Ugh, he's the worst.
The actual worst.
And then, she gets there.
Yeah.
And she's kind of like, still kind of in shock. She's like, I need to go back. Oh, get down. She's like, I need to go back. And he's like, I will take you back. He's like, you say the word, and I will take you back.
This is, like, not part of our deal.
Yes.
Moore walked you out,
mm-hmm.
and you kind of, like, came willingly, essentially.
Yeah.
So you're free to go whenever.
Whenever you want. But he's like, and then she's kind of like, I don't want to go back.
Yeah.
And it's, like, big moment. She's like, I can't
keep living that way.
No. And then he's like, okay, well, if you stay here, you can work for me. You can be part of you can help me with this war.
But you have to be all in, because, like, you're about to find you cannot go back and, like, tell Tamlin these things.
Yes, and you're going to have to definitely make sure that your shields are always up.
Yeah.
Because what I'm about to show you is
could
just
get my people killed.
Exactly. So
there's a lot of trust in this girl.
It is.
Honestly.
It is. And so, she's like, I'm not going to tell anyone,
I'm in.
I can't go back. She's like, what alternative do I have?
Yeah.
So he takes her to the Lotus. Oh, and she's like, and all of a sudden I'm in a city.
Yeah.
Those just don't exist there, because it's like they've all been
kind of destroyed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And like the other courts don't have like metropolises.
Sprawling, yeah.
So she's like in a townhome. She's like, and it's in a city. And then we're in the townhome.
She kind of expected to be, like, destroyed. Like, mm-hmm. when she walks out, she's like, oh, what
yeah.
is
like,
this?
Where are we at? This is a thriving.
Pretty.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And he, like, walks her around.
Mm-hmm. And then she, when they get there, like, Cassian and Az are at...
like, knocking on the door.
Let me in!
It's so funny.
They're like, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
And he's like... if you want to, you go upstairs, because, like, if you're overwhelmed right now, if you don't want to meet these people.
Like, I'm gonna go take a nap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is, like, fair. And so, they, like, come in, and she's, like, taking a nap upstairs, and then...
oh, he wants them to meet them
mm-hmm.
at the Wind.
Yes, House of Wind.
The House of Wind.
House of Wind. And then we get into part 2. And she's still kind of just, like, very... like, hesitant this time, because she doesn't know these people. She's like, what is this city? I've never heard of it.
And she's kind of pissed, too. Like,
yeah.
She's kind of like...
she's like, you kept the city...
secret,
yeah,
and hidden, and safe.
Unscathed.
Like, why is it special?
Mm-hmm. And you just did it for his people.
You let everyone else die, kind of thing.
And so...
a little unfair.
Yeah, he takes her to the House of Wind.
For dinner. Family dinner.
Yeah, it's just like, I'm going to take you there. You meet my inner circle. You can decide whether or not...
you want to
help
join,
us.
yeah.
So she goes there, and they're very just, like, informal.
Chaotic family.
And they call each other family.
They're so cute.
They
I
are.
love, like, that first.
Yeah. And that's what, like, I feel like makes such a difference in this book.
Yeah.
It's because, like, sorry, Tamlin, but nobody, like, even Lucian just is there with you because he blindly obeys you.
Yeah.
Like, it's
not really, like...
it's not, like,
family.
A familial love.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, you are my, high lord.
Yeah.
So I will do what you say.
Yeah.
It's not, yeah. It's a different dynamic.
Yeah.
And their dynamic, like, Reese's, like, inner circle's dynamic is just so fun.
Because they, like, talk back to him.
Yeah,
they question
they challenge
him.
him. They're not just like blind. They're not blindly following.
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
And they're all just kind of like, they're fun.
They're so cute.
So they go at dinner, and she's like, I don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah. And they know about her though.
Yeah.
Like they know, like what she did under the mountain. It seems like, which is a big deal.
Yeah. She helped break like the curse for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And then she agrees to, like, after like that dinner, she's kind of like, it's nice. Like, she's never really had a family that's been tight. Like, no.
Nessa and
No, whatever Terry's sisters, but they're not great.
Yeah. I think it's also she can, like, see that she can choose her family, too.
Yes.
Like, none of them are actually related.
No, they're just...
Except, I guess, Lauren and him are cousins.
Yeah. But they're still, like, they've chosen family.
To be, yeah.
So she's like, okay, I'll help you.
Yeah.
And then, so she stays there, and then, oh god, I literally just...
And that's where my reread ended last time.
Hold on. She does that, and then she starts...
Oh, they go to the bone carver next.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she's
that's
like...
where I stopped reading.
And she's like, you're taking me. And he's like taking her everywhere.
Yeah, he's like, okay.
I'm not locking you up, kind of thing.
It's gonna be dangerous. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Get in.
Go to the bone carver. She's like kind of like PTSD in there too, because she's like having to go like underground.
The prison's kind of like scary.
Yeah.
But Amber like gives her a necklace and it's like, I got out with this.
Yeah.
Which I think might be
it was BS.
Yeah, I thought it was BS.
She gave it back to her and she was like, it didn't do anything. She was like, it was basically a placebo.
Yeah. But it did help.
It was funny.
The bone carver's down there telling them about the cauldron.
The king. And the king.
It's
like they're...
The real threat here.
Yeah, there was cauldron, and then there are legs that were... It was taken apart.
Off.
And that they were, like, stored in different parts of the land. And right now the king is raiding those places.
Like, where the priestesses are.
Mm-hmm.
What she knew about that.
Yes. And they're trying to basically put the cauldron back together. Mm-hmm. But at that point, they're like, I don't know. But then the bone carver tells them that together it can do all the stuff, but it can also break down the wall. Because there's a wall.
The magic wall.
That separates the human world from...
fairies.
Yep. And the king wants to... And it's just kind of like... My thing with that is like, what is... I mean, like, I get the king wants to break down the wall and just basically, like, enslave the humans. But I'm like, but why?
But why?
But why? It's just kind of like... I think it's just like a power trip. Like, I want to control the world, basically.
Yeah.
But it's like, what are these humans going to do for you?
Well, I've heard... like, on TikTok, someone was like, they never named the king of Hybern either.
Oh, shit! What? They don't! Oh my god!
He's always just the king of Hybern. And so, like, what could that mean? Like,
oh my god, they don't!
Like, who is he really? Like, if he, like...
oh my god, they don't. They don't!
They don't.
He's the king of
He's just the king of Hybern.
I just can't with that.
And, like, what does that mean from, like...
But what does that mean?
Because, like, they do kill him, like, you know.
Yeah, but, like, what is that?
But, like,
was he...
Like, is he something else? It's, like, what that thought process is, you know?
Oh, yeah, spoiler, they kill him. Not in this book, but... Damn!
Yeah. So, like, has he, like, made a deal with the god or something, you know what I mean? Like...
Man!
So, but I think, but, like, his basic... want is to like rule. Yes.
Yeah. It's like I want to control everything.
Yeah. So they think that he's kind of like testing out the cauldron's power by bringing back this Jurian guy.
Oh, the eyeball.
Who's in like Amarantha's ring.
It's so weird.
He was her lover at some point. I can't really remember that like background.
He was in love with the other girl.
Yeah.
And
he like sold her out or something?
Yeah. He thought she, like, betrayed him, and then...
He joined Amarantha.
Yeah, and then basically, like, sold her out, and then he thought she was dead.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's, like, not... He was human.
Yeah, and
he's bad human.
They want to bring him back because he's, like, a general, kind of. Like, he would be an asset in war, I guess you could say.
So, yeah, he's trying to bring him back, and now that they know that people can be brought back because Pharaoh was brought back.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, well, your soul's still here, so this can happen.
You have a scrap of your soul.
Yeah. So they're basically trying... They, like, found that out from the bone carver that that's what he's after, is, like, to destroy the wall.
Yeah. You know, it was interesting because I did get to this part in my reread. With Crescent City, like we got to go to the prison again.
Oh yeah.
And like I was like rereading it with fresh eyes, and I was like talking about all these like people that were in there that are from like eons ago and like other places, like when there were like rips in the And I was just like
now I know.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Now I know why.
Yeah.
It is. It's good. It has like a different perspective.
Yeah.
And then so they go to the Bone Carver. They leave there, and they like know. Oh, the Bone Carver tells them about the book.
The Book of Breathings.
Yeah, and so it's like this book that was torn apart and that could help them.
Yeah, because it was also made. I think it was a made book.
Yeah, and it has like spells and stuff that can control the
cauldron.
Oh,
that's right. That's right.
Like if you like recite these spells, you control.
I had forgotten about the Book of Breathings. It's also mentioned in Crescent City.
Yeah, and so they're like, okay, well, we need the books.
Yes,
and they know that the queens have one of the books.
Yeah, but it has to be given freely though, or else it'll like burst into flames or something.
The queen has the books, and then
the summer court.
But the first thing they do is they go to the human world, and they see her sisters,
who suck. This is where I stopped reading, so I have to like consult them.
Her sisters do suck. I'm sorry, and I don't think reading back, I see like Azrael's first like interactions with Elaine, and it's like he is kind of like, not that he's not flirting with her by any means, but
he's like kind of taken by her.
He's like he's interacting with her more than you see him interact with a lot of people.
Yeah, because even at the dinner table, he like barely talked.
Yes.
Yeah.
So and then like Cassian's like already taken with Nesta.
Oh no.
He's like, you can already tell like immediately. He's just like, Farrah like notices that he's like intently like listening to her or like paying attention to her. I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, already? Like, what are you guys doing? And Nesta wants no part. She's like, I'm not bringing these queens here because they want to use their house as like a middle ground. She's like, I'm not bringing those queens here. And they're basically like, please.
Like, do something for your sister.
Yeah.
I hate
I still don't like her in this book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She hasn't got her redemption arc yet.
No. And so, they agree to let them write a letter and like invite the queens there. And they like stay there for the night, and then they go into the woods, and he's trying to like train Farrah, and I think that's like one of the first times she may winnow.
Oh, good for her.
Yeah. And they end up leaving. And they leave to go back, because like the queens obviously like, you know, it'll take them some time to like get the letter and then like come back. They go back to the night court. And for a minute they're kind of just like enjoying themselves.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, let's explore the city. She like doesn't want to go in the art district because she's like still just kind of like torn.
Yeah.
And then they go. At this point, I feel like they go back. There's one point, and it might have been the first time they were in the human world, where he basically uses her as bait. And the adder comes. Yeah, I think it's that first time.
That's the first time, yeah.
Yeah. And she's like, you use me as bait? She's like, how dare you?
Well, it's like, girl, you gotta choose. You want to be trapped inside of a cage, or you want to be bait? Come on.
And that's when she starts training with Cassie, and she's like, training.
I need to be able to like defend myself, yeah.
And so she starts training. And then like in the midst of all this, there's like some obvious like tension between her and Reese, and it's great. I love it. It's just, and he's just like the anti-Tamlin. Yeah. He's like, you want to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Like, all this is your choice.
I will say, I think that he like understands trauma in general.
Absolutely.
Too. And like Tamlin did not,
because he was trapped under the mountain as her like love slave.
Yeah.
For 50 years.
Yeah. Doing God knows what else too.
Yeah. It's just, he does.
Yeah.
Like, he understands he's like, not having your own choice.
Yeah.
And Tamlin just does not.
He does not.
He does not get that. So like there's all this tension, all this whatever. She's training with Cassian. And then around that time they're like going
the summer court's next, yeah.
To the summer court. And then they go to summer court.
I remember.
And she's like flirting with that
guy. That's the one thing I remember from the summer court is her flirting.
She's flirting with that guy.
Yeah.
And Reese is like, not about it. But then he's
like, whatever.
Yeah, and then she thinks that he takes this other girl.
It's flirting with,
and like takes her to bed. And she's all jealous. And they're just jealous the whole time. It's great. And they're both just kind of like pissed at each other because they're both jealous at each other. And they're like,
they want to admit feelings.
Yeah. And they're like, do what you want. Like, I don't care. What you want. Yeah, it's so funny. But the summer court lord is nice.
I remember always liking him.
Yeah, he's like one that you can tell like he doesn't have like a hidden agenda.
He just like wants good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he wants peace.
He wants to protect his court too. I think him and Reese are similar in that way.
Yeah. And so he's very just like accommodating.
Yeah.
Then they end up screwing him over.
I know. I mean, for the better good.
Yeah. They get the book.
Yeah.
Oh, and the race that, so like at the tithe, the people that she helped were water wraiths. And they were like, we'll never forget your kindness.
Oh!
We will never forget your kindness.
She almost drowns, doesn't she?
Her and, oh my gosh, I can't think of her name. Who's the, Amarin. Her and Amarin almost drowned.
Yeah.
And the water wraiths saved them.
Aww.
And they're like, our debt's paid.
You should always be nice.
Always be nice. And they're like, our debt's paid. And then they go back. And they get those blood jewels from the summer court. They're like, okay, you're on our hit list number 1. And Reese is just like, I should have. He's like, I did this wrong. He's like, he wanted a friendship, and I just like stole from him. He's just kind of like brooding.
Aww.
Yeah. And then after that, I think they might go.
Because like Amarin's trying to decode the book.
She's trying to decode the book.
But like, okay, do you remember from Kristen City though, where she was like, the book of the breathings is written in the language that was on the back of.
Yes.
But I thought that was the Fae language, is it not?
I thought it was like an ancient Fae language.
Yeah.
Maybe she just, I don't know.
I don't know. Sorry.
Maybe it was still in the language but coded.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah.
So
they get the books and they give it, and Amarin's just like immediately.
She's on a mission.
Yep. She's like, I'm gonna decode this.
Yep.
And then while that's happening, what's next?
Feyre learns about Miriam, Darian's lover.
Oh yeah. How she's like kind of still alive.
Oh, and then Rhysand is showing the queens the hidden city of Valaris.
Okay, yes. So they go back and they're like, we can't believe you until we need proof.
Yeah.
And he's like, how the hell do I give you proof? And then he decides to show them. So in order to show them, he has to get this like orb.
Yeah, that's what it says here.
Yeah,
and I don't remember the orb.
They go to the night court.
Yeah.
The actual court of nightmares. Court of nightmares. What you actually like, what the world perceives of the night court.
Yes.
And that is when we get the throne scene.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
Like
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
Chef's kiss. Perfection.
10 out of 10.
So they go to the night court. Or the court of nightmares.
Court of nightmares, yeah.
And that's where like Moore's father is like basically the steward or whatever.
When they arrive at the court, they put on a great show meant to distract.
Yeah, so they're going there, and he almost is like, I don't want you to go, and she's like, I'm here to help.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, well, if you go, you're gonna have to like play this part, and basically she's playing a part of like his hoe.
Yeah.
He's like, you're my prize.
Tough part to play.
Tough part to play.
Poor
so while they're like, so they get there, he like sits on the throne, he like pulls her in his lap, and like while they're like putting on a show, Azrael is going to get the orb.
Yeah.
And they put on a great show.
They did.
Oh my gosh. And yes. So it's like, and her like body's all reacting. He's like, don't worry, it's just your body. I'm like, no, she likes you, fool.
She loves you.
She like sees that you're like a decent human.
I think when he's saying that though, I think he means the mating bond.
Yeah.
I think he's like,
I know you're feeling something, but it's just he's trying to underplay it.
Yeah.
He's like, don't worry, it's just a natural
response. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
And she's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Love it.
It was just fair.
Yeah. Oh, that scene. That's like, I want a movie or a TV show of this. I'm like, give me that scene.
Yeah.
But do it justice.
Yeah. HBO, please.
HBO, please. It's such a good scene. And at this point, they're also like talking in each other's heads. And she just thinks it's because of their like bargain bond.
Yeah, the bargain bond.
Yeah, I'm like,
it's like, why would she know any different?
She wouldn't know any different.
But it makes me wonder, like, does everyone else know? You know what I mean?
He tells her later that at this point, the only people who actually know are Moore and Amryn.
Yeah.
Cassian and Azriel suspect.
Okay.
But at this point, he knows.
Yeah.
But Moore and...
he knows, like...
Yeah. Moore and Amryn know as well.
Yeah.
So, they're under the mountain. They get the orb. They leave. And she's like, they're all hot and bothered.
As she would be.
Yeah. And then, after they leave, they're gonna, like, go back to the Queens. And I think at one point...
At the Illyrian war camp?
Oh, yeah, they go there first. So they go...
Oh, she finds out about his family.
They go to the war camp, and she finds out that how his family was murdered.
By
Tamlin's, yeah. And...
But Rhysand's father killed Tamlin's whole family. Like, yeah. It's just a messed up time.
It really was. And then they go... And then from the Illyrian war camp...
It looks like Lucian shows up to convince her to come home.
Yes! They're like traveling. At this point, I don't think they've gone to the Weaver yet.
No, I don't think we're there yet.
But they're traveling to the Weaver.
The Serial. Oh, shit.
No, they're traveling to the Weaver. And because they're wondering if she... Oh, wait, no, they did that before. We missed that part. Before they go to the summer court, she travels to the Weaver. Because they're like, Mike can detect the book.
Oh.
And so they go, and she goes to the Weaver, who's this, like, creepy old lady in a cottage. Who has, like, all these treasures. Who's blind, but can just, like, destroy you. Yeah. It's very, like, Hansel and Gretel. And she, like, finds this ring that's calling to her.
Yeah.
And she's like, what the fuck? Like, why did you leave me in there? And he's like, I knew you could do it.
Yeah.
You needed to find your strength in your panic. He's very much, that's like the biggest takeaway of this book is he is her partner in this book.
He's trusting her to learn.
Yeah. He's like, I'm not here to like be your captor. And call you. Yeah. Like what they did.
Yeah.
But they're traveling at this point. They leave the Illyrian camp.
He gets captured.
Okay, yeah. So they're traveling.
And he's poisoned.
But before that, Lucian comes.
Yeah, the camp.
Yeah, Lucian comes when they leave the camp, and he tries to take her home. He's like, let's go home.
She refuses.
And she's like, you didn't help me.
And I feel bad for Lucian. Like, I do.
I think he thinks he's doing right.
He's stuck in a hard place, because he likes Feyre.
He does. He, like, bonded with her in the first book. Like, he likes her. And then, but he's just, like, loyal.
That's my High Lord.
Yeah, he's so loyal. And he's like, I'm gonna do what he needs me to do. And he needs you home. Like, we need you home.
Yeah, he's probably, like, losing it, honestly.
Yeah. And, like, she's like, okay, well, if he touches me, he's winnowing me out of here. Because he can do that. And so when he goes to touch her, she winnows. And that's when, Rhys, like, finds him. He, like, catches up to him. And, she's like, I am here of my own volition. Leave. Like, you didn't help me then, you're not helping me now, like, leave. So he leaves, and then they're traveling, and that's when he gets shot down.
By 7 poisoned ash arrows.
Yeah, so he gets shot down, and, he's, like, in a bad way.
He's poisoned.
She goes to trap the Serial. To find out, like,
Serial Tico.
Yeah, like what's going on? And then the Serial drops a bomb. She's like, okay, it's this poison. This is what you can do.
Yeah.
And she's like, you're made to live if.
Give it. I think it's blood.
Yeah. And she's like, my mate. What?
My mate?
Excuse me. And then she asks, does he know? And she's like, yeah. And
the Serial's like so like.
She's just like a gossip.
Yeah.
She's like a gossip.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, you want this tea? Here you go.
I think she can probably tell you so much stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm just going to tell you what'll be funny for me. I'm kind of bored here.
Yeah, she's like, let me get some entertainment.
Yeah.
And she goes and she saves him, and then she, like, is super mad. Because she's like...
I don't think she should be mad, because I think he was trying to be respectful. Because, like...
He was absolutely trying to be respectful.
Because, like... because I think at that point she knows, like, what mates are, like, what it means.
Yes.
Because she's, like, waiting for it to snap into place for her and Tamlin.
Yes.
At some point.
Because he told her about how his parents were mates.
Yeah.
Tamlin did.
Yeah. So she understands that.
The concept.
And what it means.
Like, it's more important than marriage.
And, like, I think that he was, again, trying to give her a choice. Because, like, Tamlin was never giving her choices.
It's a very much, like, fourth wing situation. It's like, Violet, get over it.
Yeah, it's like...
It's like he
did it for you.
Yeah. It's like, I get the initial shock.
Yeah.
But, like... Like, come on.
You were in a bad place mentally.
Depression.
You were traumatized.
Absolutely.
You didn't even, like, know anything about this guy, really.
You thought he was an enemy.
You did.
Well, you kind of, like, you kind of thought he wasn't, but, like, still, from
you didn't trust him.
Yeah, from Tamlin's point of view, he was an enemy, so you had dubbed him an enemy.
Yeah, so he didn't want to, like, add to it, basically.
Yeah, he's not trying to force your hand.
Yeah, like, he wants you to come to your own conclusions without it being, like, this special mating bond that's, like...
I have no escape.
Yeah.
I'm trapped again.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly!
Yes. Reese, you are a man among men, or men among boys. We love you.
We love you.
He is. He knows. And so, but she's pissed.
She's pissed.
She's pissed. She's like...
Oh, and that's when we get the story of, like, when he knew.
Yeah, so Moore takes her to that cabin, and she's there for a minute.
Mm-hmm. She's processing.
And she's, like, painting. Have you seen the memes about her painting? It's just, like, awful paintings. Like, what if she's actually an awful painter?
That's, like, my favorite, like, headcanon. It's, like, she's not a good painter. And, like, there's just, like, this old cabin they all, like, really care about. She's just, like, painting creepy eyes all over the wall.
It's so funny.
I love it so much.
I love those memes.
I love it.
They're so good.
It's so good.
And that's how, like, I imagine her painting. When I was rereading it, I was thinking about her just being an awful painter.
Yeah.
And it made me chuckle.
Same. That's where the cabin.
Yep. She's there for a couple of days.
Yeah. She's processing things.
And, like, I do think in her, like, she does, I feel like, come to it quicker. Like, she's pissed, but I think
that she, like, she knows.
Yeah.
Like, there's something inside of her where she's like, it makes sense.
Yeah. And, because, like, this whole book.
Yeah.
They've, like, had this, like, flirtation.
Yeah.
And she's kind of like, what is this? I am supposed to be in love with Tamlin. Like, why am I feeling this way? She kind of feels ashamed about it a little bit. And it's like... But he doesn't push her. No. Like, yeah, he can be, like, a shameless flirt, but, like, he never crosses the line.
Yeah, and he was like that in the first book, too, to be fair.
Yes.
So she's probably just like, oh, it's just, like, how he is.
Yeah, exactly. And so she's, like, in the cabin for a couple of days, like, mulling it over, and then he gets there, and he's like, there's only so many places you could have been. Yeah. And then he tells her the whole story.
And it's, like, kind of heartbreaking.
Oh, my gosh. It is. It's like, yeah, a couple of years ago, I started getting these dreams of you painting. Horrible paintings. And he, like, tried to send her stuff, like, along the dreams, and that's why she had, like, painted stars.
She had dreamt of it.
Yeah, and she had, like, painted it on her dresser, and I was like, oh my gosh! Love it.
It's just so sweet.
So sweet. And he, like, tells her the whole, like, how, under the mountain, it was just, like, took everything in him not to do something.
Because he could, like, kind of tell...
Yeah.
But then, like, when she became High Fae, it, like, snapped into place for him.
Yes. Oh, yeah. It snapped. He was like, I wasn't sure, and then after you died. Because he kept her soul tethered.
And, like, it makes so much sense.
Oh, yeah. In the first book, you're kind of like, why is she, like...
Why is her... Like, okay, it's the blonde. It's the blonde.
Looking back, it's just...
Because he, like, owns a piece of her soul, and, like, oh
yes.
My God.
And he, like, keeps her tethered, and she, like, comes back, and she's like, I wasn't coming... She thought she was just, like, coming home. She was like, I was coming home to you. Yeah. Oh, it's so sweet.
So sweet.
Yeah, and this was, like, one of the first books that I read where, like, the mating bond is, like, pretty prevalent. Mm-hmm. And so now, when I read books, like, when I read, like, Fourth Wing, and when I read, like, Crescent City, it's, like, the minute you can speak into each other's minds, and you're not rude, I'm like...
Red flag. Like, not red flag, but, like...
I'm like, it's a mating flag. I'm like, you a mate.
That and your scent is, like...
Yes. Oh, and Bride, I'm like, the minute you talk about scent, I'm like... Your mate.
Your mates.
And this was, like, one of the first books where it was, like, it kind of spelled that out.
But it's kind of nice, too, like, that for me, too, like, this is, like, the first one that had mates in it. It's kind of nice, like, not already knowing what that is, because, like, you don't pick up on those things.
Exactly, because in books I read now, I immediately am like, they're mate.
Yeah, but, like, because you, like...
It made this book so much more special.
I didn't know. It was just, like...
It was.
all those things.
Yeah, it was so nice.
Yeah, like you were like learning it with her.
Yes.
And it made it it made it special.
It did. That's why this book is just so great.
It's so close and near and dear.
But yeah, I agree with that completely.
Yeah.
And so he tells her all this. And he's like, I didn't want to push it on. And he tells her that. He's like, I didn't want to push it on you.
Yeah.
You were traumatized.
Yeah.
Like, you were in love with him, and I was just going to let you be.
Because I love you so much.
But then on our wedding day, he was like, I heard you.
And I couldn't ignore it.
And he's like, I had to go.
Yeah.
And then...
Thank God you did.
Thank God. But he still wasn't going to do anything about it. He was like, I might have, unless you came to that on your own, like, I wasn't going to basically do anything. Which is just, like, so noble.
So noble.
Love him. He's the best. I forgot how much I liked him until I read.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you get none of him anymore.
Yeah.
Like, no offense. Like, we'll get to it eventually, but, like, I hate how he, like, who he becomes in, like, Nesta's book.
Oh, he's like, not nagging, but he's almost like...
He's not...
Because she doesn't like him, so it, like, portrays it like he's just kind of like, I don't like her either.
Right, which makes sense, because it is a Nesta book, but, like, it's just upsetting.
Yeah. It doesn't portray him in the best light.
No.
I'm like, he wouldn't be like this.
He wouldn't be like this.
Yeah. Mm.
No.
But, oh yeah, I forgot how much I liked him before I reread this.
I know.
So, and then... Like, while he's telling her, like, well, before that, she's, like, cooking him soup.
I also imagine her being a bad cook.
Yeah, and he's like, what are you doing?
She's whoa, you can't cook. Which I think is the weirdest part of this.
She's like, I'm cooking you soup.
The food thing is the weirdest part of the dating bond.
Before we get into this, he's like, if you cook me soup, that's, like, a mate thing. It's, like, the first time you offering me food knowing it, it's, like, a big deal. And she's like, okay, well, tell me the story, and then I'll let you know if I'm offering
if I want to give you the food.
So he finishes the whole story, and she offers him soup. And he, like, gobbles it down. It's so funny. I'm like, it's just like in my mind, it's just like a can of Campbell's.
I know, exactly. It's just like...
He just, like, he didn't have tomato soup.
It could have been anything. And he would have been like...
Yeah.
Give it to me. Yeah.
It was funny.
Yeah. Oh.
And then there's chapter 55. It's a great chapter. I mean, it's good stuff. And the thing is like, people, I feel like, who don't, like, smut in their books, they're like, oh, I'll just skip over it. But, like, you can't.
No, it's a big moment for them.
Exactly. I'm like, they're like, oh, it doesn't further the plot. But I'm like, it does. It, like, secures their connection.
It's intimacy.
Yeah.
It's building that connection.
Yeah.
It's like, and in some books, maybe, whatever. But in this book, it matters.
Yeah. And I do think there are some books where it is just, like, you can jump from one to the other.
It's, like, not for the plot.
And it's very just, like, almost, like, cut into very specific piece. Mm-hmm. Like, there's no... Like, maybe there's not a lot of dialogue either, and it's just kind of like, there's no, like, furthering of the connection. Mm-hmm. But in this one, I'm like, don't skip it.
It's a big moment for them.
Don't skip chapter 55.
Yeah, we've been building to this.
Yeah, we've been building to this. You can just skim over some parts of it, but just, even the dialogue, read it.
Yeah.
So now they're good, they're Gucci, and they're mates. Yay!
They're mates, what a good moment.
He's like, do you want to get married? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do this? And so they go back.
So cute.
They go back home. And now they're like, okay, well, now we gotta go to the king.
Gotta get shit done.
Mm-hmm. Now we gotta get shit done. And they, like, come up with this plan. How they're gonna sneak in and, like, pass the guards and stuff. And Amarin's decoded the book.
Yeah.
So she's like, say these words, and it'll, like, nullify them, essentially. So they, like, put that plan in action.
Yep.
They're, like, going. They're going to the king, and basically it's a trap.
Of course it's a trap.
I mean,
did we think it wasn't going to be?
It was a trap.
You think the king doesn't know what's happening?
Right? Come on, guys. Like, he's been, like, sitting in the shadows for however long.
He has the cauldron. Like, the cauldron can probably tell him things, too. Exactly. Is my thought.
Yeah. So, yeah. I was just, like, kind of like, hey, come on, guys.
Yeah.
We kind of walked into this.
Yeah, sorry.
And then... Like, the cauldron's speaking to her and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
King comes in. Lucian, at this point, is human now.
Jurian.
Yeah, or sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jurian is human now.
He's brought back.
He's brought back, and they just, like, walk in. They're like, haha, we knew.
Yeah.
We knew you were coming. And then they just basically, like, they have them. They don't have, like, a next move because they didn't nullify the cauldron.
Yeah. Their plans failed.
The plans failed horribly.
Which, of course they did.
Yeah.
Of course they did.
Plans failed horribly.
This says Azriel's life is in the balance.
Okay,
I don't remember that part.
He had gotten shot with something, and poison is in his body. And the king is basically like, I can tell that poison basically to like run rampant or like keep it like...
Because he's in control of the cauldron now, right?
Yeah, or keep it like local. Oh my god. So his like, he's just like weary and it's like on his knees kind of thing. Like not being able to do anything. And then something happens and that's when they shoot Cassian's wings. Because the whole book, you kind of get, like, throughout the whole book, you get that whole dynamic of all these, like, his inner circle, and they're so tight-knit, and they're brothers. Oh, and he's just funny. He is, like, comedic relief.
I love him.
Oh, he's great. And, like...
Their wings are a big deal.
Their wings are a big deal.
The Illyrians.
And they just totally just brutalize his wings. Like, shoot him or something. They're not completely gone, but they're just like torn to bits. Yeah. It's so sad. He's like on the ground, just like, yeah. And then they're like all this stuff where they're just like, oh, we foiled your plot, blah 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 blah.
Says Tamlin saw them out.
And then Tamlin comes in, and you're like, Bear's like, what the
this guy.
fuck? It is, and Lucian's kind of like, I'm here because he's here.
I don't want to be here.
Yeah, that's the whole vibe you get from Lucian this whole book. It's just like, I don't want to be doing this, but I'm doing this.
Yeah, it's so sad.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel bad for Lucian. Like, I feel like he deserves more.
I feel like
he's Feyre's State, honestly.
Yeah, I feel like he feels like he has nowhere to go.
And when he kind of doesn't, like, his family
sucks.
His family sucks as well.
Yeah, he does. I feel for him because his family sucks. He can't go back to them.
He can't go back to them.
Yeah, they, like, killed his, like, betrothed or, like, the woman he loved. And it's like, he's not going to be in power, but, like, they might kill him because, like, for the...
There's dicks.
Yeah, they're dicks. And then it's, like, the only place he, like, found refuge was at Spring Court.
Like, he thought, like, Tamlin was his friend. His family is his friend. Like, whatever.
But it's just, like, he takes advantage of that friendship.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just, like, Tamlin, you suck. And, like, so, yeah, Lucian's like, I don't want to be here, but I'm here.
Ianthe gave their location away.
Yes.
Fuck that bitch. I hate her. I didn't like her from the beginning. No. I knew she was sketch.
The minute they're like, oh, she's like helping plan the wedding, and she was just like so involved, I'm like, this girl has an agenda.
That's the girl that's like, I'm a girl's girl, and she's like, not.
No, she's not a girl's girl. She's after your man. She's after something.
Yeah, she's power.
She's after power. Oh yeah, she sucked. Yeah, she gave away the sisters' location, and they bring the sisters out. Yeah. And Tam was like, well, I didn't agree to this. I'm like, what did you expect? Right. You got into bed with the devil. Like, what do you... He's like, oh, I didn't want this. I'm like, you can't... Like,
because you weren't thinking with your brain. You were thinking with your ego.
Yes.
And your ego said, Rhysand stole Feyre, and I need her back. Yeah.
And that's
like... all you could think
when
of.
he sees her, he's not even like, oh, I missed you, love you. He was like, come with me.
It's not for her own safety. It's for his...
Yeah, he's like, I lost my possession.
Yes.
I want it back.
So shitty.
He sucks so bad.
Shitty.
He sucks so bad. Yeah, it's not about her. It's about how he, lost her.
Oh, I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it.
And then so they bring out the sisters, and the queens are there. The queens come out because they're like, we want to be immortal. Show us how this cauldron works. And they're like, oh, we'll show you.
Those dumb bitches.
They throw in Elaine, and Elaine comes out, and Elaine is like my least favorite character in this whole series.
Well, we know the least about her. Like maybe it'll change in the 6th book or whatever.
Maybe.
She's like, we don't like Nesta, but at least we have some feeling toward her.
Yeah,
I have no feelings toward Elaine.
I'm just like, you're here,
and you're not
quiet. Yeah, you're not adding anything. So she comes out of the cauldron, and she's like, kind of like not visibly. She's different. They can tell she's different.
Her ears change probably.
Yeah, I think so. And then they threw Nesta in. And Cassian's just like trying to get to her. I'm like,
I don't like Nesta, but I love Cassian, so I feel so bad.
I'm like, how do I have him be happy, but also her just not be happy? Like, how do I get this?
Yes.
Yeah, because she still is just a grade A bitch.
Yeah.
But he's still like on the ground, like in pain.
But he wants to get to her.
Yeah, and she's thrown in the cauldron. And she comes out, and then she's like also different. But she also like does like the thing to the king where she like kind of like points to him. She's like, I'm gonna get you.
Yeah.
She's like, that's a death tag. So they go through this. They come out, and then they're like, they have no power play here. They, like, all of
they're at the mercy.
They, like, I think the king had used the cauldron again to, like, put, like, a clamp on their power, and they can't...
They mentioned that earlier,
They couldn't winnow in and out yet, and it's just, like, they have no move.
They're just, like, all standing there.
They're trapped.
Yeah.
And so Feyre, like, digs into her power. She, like, breaks a hole in, like, the wards to where they can winnow in and out. And she, like...
Because she's got mad power. Like, they don't talk about it much, but she's got mad power.
And then, like, she sends, like, this blast of light out. And then is the theater acts, the end all theater acts.
Oh, yeah.
She's just like, oh, Tamlin, what happened? Where am I? She's like, oh my god, I don't know what's going on.
Happening?
Yeah. Grade A acting, Feyre. Good on you. I forgot how much I liked Feyre.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they changed, like...
It's like the last book we read was the Nesta book, and we were like, we forgot how awesome these characters were.
I missed them. It
I know.
So sad.
I literally did. I forgot how much I liked her.
Because she's smart and, like, capable.
Yep. Yeah, she's great.
Yeah.
And she's quick on her feet, because, like, in that moment, she's like, okay, how can we get out of here?
And she cares about all these people now.
Yes.
She does. She's like, they're her people now.
Yeah, they are her people. She's selfless. Oh, wait, hold on. Back up. When they told the queens about Valaris, and then they had that attack, she helped, like, the queen sold Valaris out to the king.
Of course they did.
And then the king sent the Adder and, like, all these, like, warriors to Valaris.
Yeah.
And Cassian and Feyre were the only ones there at the moment. And, like, she helped defend them.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. She's just like, these are my people now. And so she, like...
And that was before she knew Breeze was her mate.
Yeah.
Because she's a selfless,
beautiful woman. Beautiful warrior.
Yes.
And so she, like, sends this blast light out, and she's like, oh my god, Tamlin! What's happening?
It says that she begs the king to break her bond with Reese.
Yes!
Oh.
Yes. Okay.
That's good acting.
Oh, it is. So because the king is, like, also has an ego the size of Texas.
Yes.
He's like, I can do anything. I control the cauldron. Of course I can do this.
I am the maker.
So, she's like, oh my god, he took me, and I didn't know what was going on, and blah, blah, blah. He had
damsel.
He had control over my mind. And even though we're mates, like, because I think at that point they sent them, they know that they're mates. But she's like, I don't know what happened still, and this kind of thing. Yeah. And she's, like, begging Tamlin to take her home. And in her mind, she's like, get them out of here.
Yes.
Get my sisters out. Yes. Y'all get out. Get Cassian out. Get everyone out. You can winnow out now.
Yeah.
And then she's like, break the bond. I don't want it.
Yeah.
And the king's like, of course I can. And so he, like, breaks the bond. And she's like, they both have, like, a physical reaction.
Yeah.
Like, Reese, like, falls to the floor. And, like, she's, like, kind of, like, convulsing or whatever. And then it's like, okay, we're done here.
Yeah.
Like, we're good. Like, Tamlin, you take Feyre and Lucien. Y'all go home. And then everybody else. And they give them ready to parts. Mm-hmm. So they get back to the night court. And everyone's like, where is she? Where is she? And they, then Moore's, like, kind of recounting it. She's like, she asked him to break the bond, and he did. And Reese is like, no, he didn't. He just broke the bargain bond.
The bargain bond.
He was like, if they had looked on her other hand, she already has another tattoo. She had, like, gloves on or something.
Yeah.
And he's like, you can't break a mating bond.
Yeah.
He's like, that's impossible.
Yeah.
He's like,
it's in here.
It's in here. It's in the soul. Mm. So he just broke the bargain bond. And then they're like, what? And I guess just like, she just came up with it on her feet. Love her. And he just played along with it. She just played along with it so well. Because he's been, like, playing these games forever. He's, like, knows how to put on the act.
Oh, 50 years with Amarantha? You know what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what you're doing.
And he's like, and if they had looked at her right hand, they would have seen new tattoo. Because, surprise, she's the High Lady of the Night Court. Oh, I love that. And I reread it, and I remembered loving it the first time. And now I was like, hell yeah, she is.
Gosh.
Hell yeah. They're like, you mean my High Lady is with this, like, is with Tamlin right now?
They're kind of pissed.
They're kind of pissed. They're like, what? Because they're just, like, such devotion to them. And it's like, you telling me that my High Lady?
And they already liked her. And
yeah.
Now
they're like, she's my queen, like, queen or whatever.
Essentially, basically.
Yeah. And they're like, now and then she's like,
she's in danger.
And he's like, yeah, she's gonna help break this down from the inside. She's I mean, like, she's kind of like a sacrificial lamb, but, like, in the best way.
But it's almost like...
Because she chose to be.
I was going to say, it's almost like she's finally taking control of her own life.
Yes.
Like, she chose this, and she's, like, ready to, like, help, and, like, isn't, like, some... At the beginning of the book, she's, like, just, like, little flower.
Exactly.
Or whatever. And, like,
she's
now,
so much stronger.
She's so much stronger.
It's so great. She does. And you see that from the start of the book to the end of the book.
Yeah.
Because at the beginning of the book, she's just, like... feeble and like she's not eating and she's waking up every night. Yeah, she's just confused. She's like has all this power inside her that she doesn't know what it does.
She's lost. She's really lost.
And Tamlin's not doing fucking anything about it.
I love the last line. Can I say the last line? Yeah. The last line is, and so Tamlin unwittingly led the High Lady of the Night Court into the heart of his territory.
Hell yeah, he did, sucker. Oh, he sucks so bad.
He sucks so bad.
And like I think that he thinks he's doing right, but I'm like you.
He does, and like, you know. I'm sure I do think we'll get a Tamlin redemption arc eventually. Yeah. I do think that. And
they like show him bits and pieces.
And I will say, like, he has had a hard life. His family was killed.
Yeah.
He did take over. He also went through the whole Amarantha thing in a different way. Yeah. His whole court was cursed. Like, he's had a lot of shit things happen to him. I do think that he thought he was in love with Feyre as well.
Yeah, but I also think he thinks love is like property.
I think that he like...
He has a skewed view.
He does.
Yeah.
But I think that's part of, like, the reasoning, like, because he, like, from how all he came, like, his, like, history.
Have you seen the things where it's, like, maybe Amarantha and him were mates?
Have.
I'm like, what?
I have.
And now I'm like, what if that's true? And now he just doesn't have a mate.
I mean, he deserves it.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. But, so, like, I'd be fine with him getting a redemption arc, because I do think that, like, things made him this way. Yeah. But don't care.
Yeah. I've also seen the theories where it's like, okay, backtrack. When Elaine, like, comes out and, like, Lucian's, like, helping her, he looks in her eyes.
You're my mate.
And the mating bond snaps. Yeah. And he's like, you're my mate. And she's like, what?
And he's like, dude, I just got
And Nessa's like, no, get away from her. No, she's not. I will say, and, like...
She protects Elaine, at least.
I have sisters.
You do have sisters.
I have 2 sisters.
Which is, you are... I mean, you're not, but you are.
I'm not.
But you would be Feyre.
I'd be Feyre. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I thought I forgot she was the youngest.
Yeah.
But, like...
Your older sister's not... It's not.
But, like, the obsession that Nesta has with Elaine is weird.
It makes no sense to me, honestly.
It doesn't. It makes no sense to me.
You would think that she would be more obsessed with Feyre.
Yeah, like, because she's the youngest.
And, like, she's going to protect her.
Yes. It's weird. Like, in every instance, in all these books, she's just, like, weirdly obsessed with her. And it's, like, protective, but also just, it's unhealthy. And I don't understand it.
I think it's because she's pretty, maybe. Like, her mom,
she's like, she doesn't know any better.
Her mom, like, taught her to, like...
Because they make her out to be kind of stupid.
Elaine?
Yeah.
She just, like, is there.
Yeah.
She's just
there. Like, she's kind of, like, aloof. Not aloof, but, like...
No, she's...
naive.
Yeah.
And it's just, And Nesta is just so... obsessively protective over her. I'm just like, what are you doing? Because the fact, and I would understand it if she was like that with both of them.
Yeah,
but she's not.
It's just Elaine.
It's just Elaine, and I'm like, this is weird.
I don't understand it.
I don't like it. But yeah, so he's her mate, and then they get back to Spring Court, and Lucy's like automatically curious. She's like, so you're like good now? She's like, yeah, I was just under his control. I'm like, he sees through you so bad. Like, and get on you, and because she's like, he can't put me on his bad side because then he'll never see Elaine again.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I would wave that card for sure.
And it sucks because, like, I do like Lucian.
I do like Lucian.
I
think that he deserves way better than he's gotten so far.
He does. And I hope we see that. Like, if we do get an Elaine book.
Yeah.
I hope we see...
Have you seen the ones where it's, like, not Amarantha, but they're like, oh, maybe Tamlin is Elaine? And it's always...
About the heart.
Because it's like, oh, she loves flowers, and he's like, Spring Court. But in all of these, like, memes and, like, reels and stuff about these theories, it's like, are people just, like, totally turning a blind eye to the fact that Lucian is her actual mate?
Yeah.
They're just like, they don't want to see it.
Well, you know, because you've heard, like, her and Az are actually mates, right?
Yeah.
And that Rhys is, like, broken into everyone's minds.
Oh.
No, so there's, like, this, like, bad Rhys theory.
No! We don't want this! Who's doing this? What haters out there are, like, throwing this out?
So the theory is that he doesn't want Az to be with Elaine, so he, like, broke into Lucian's mind to make him think that he was the
should want anybody to be with anybody, it should be Cassian with Nesta.
Like, why are you wasting your breath on a lane?
On a lane.
I don't know. It's weird.
I don't like that theory.
I don't either. I'm like...
Rhys would never do that.
Rhys is, like, morally gray, but not in the way where he would, like, hurt people he cares about. And he cares about Az.
He would protect them to the end of the earth.
Yeah.
And I think I think he knows the beauty of the mating bond, where it's like, I wouldn't want to deprive that of my brother.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Screw all you haters. Anybody who out there who has that theory, no. And I'll eat my words if it's true, but...
Well, I think it's also, like, a way for people out there to be like, Az is her mate.
Yeah, but I just don't like that.
Like, everyone's like, is it really fair for it to be, like, the three of them and the three of them? Like,
exactly.
That seems, like, too easy.
That's too cookie cutter.
And, like, I'm, like, totally fine.
And I like Lucien. I'm cool.
I like Lucien, and I think that he...
Yeah.
I think him and Elaine would be fine.
Yeah.
Give her a little bit more personality, I think they'd be great.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that
Az... She reminds me of Ginny Weasley in the Harry Potter movies.
In the movies?
Yeah. Not the books.
The movies.
The movies.
There's like nothing there.
It's just like blank face.
Yeah.
That is who I like.
And then we can get Az with Gwen and
yes.
fine.
Yes.
Be
I
fine.
think that would. Yeah.
Okay.
No, yeah. People, I'm just like, I think Az likes her because I think that...
I think it's a friendship. I think that she's soft and, like, quiet.
She's not intimidating.
He's quiet. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I think he finds, like, he sees that, like, kernel of, like... a resemblance.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, maybe we can... But I do think it's a friendship.
I think it's a friendship.
Yeah.
And, like, we value friendships here.
Absolutely.
He's, like... Sorry, we're, like, getting into other book series, but, like, him and Nesta are, like, besties in Crescent City.
Yeah. I didn't understand that.
I didn't either.
I'm like, what we missed?
I don't know.
I mean, like, I get, like, in the last book, they were, like, all living in the House of Wind, but...
But I didn't get the besties piece. Whatever. I mean, like, maybe because Cassian's besties with Az. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, best book.
Best book
just
of the series.
Like so good.
Absolutely. You have to read the first book.
Yeah.
Have to read the first book to appreciate this book.
You know, when you try and sell this series, sometimes you're like, you just gotta get to the first one. But I don't think that's true. I think the first book is good and it stands on its own.
Absolutely.
Don't like listen to the haters. Like
I reread the first.
This book is better.
This book is better, but the first book is good.
The first book's good.
And you do get Rhys in the first book.
And you do.
Like the last 200 pages. Like they're under the mountain and
yes.
Yeah.
And it's fine to like Tamlin in the first book too because
I did.
He is who she needs in that first book.
Exactly. And she talks about that several times
She does.
in this book where
I've changed.
Yeah, where there's this one line where she was like, I wish I should have bookmarked it. I'm gonna reread this and annotate it because you got it. Yeah. I just didn't have. I meant to do it for this one, but I didn't. Didn't buy the stickers.
Little tabs.
But there was this one line that she's like, oh, it was when they get to the House of Wind. Oh, then it's probably right here. Oh, wait, hold on. I want to read it verbatim. Where's it at? Where's the House of Wind? Oh no! Wait, does it go that? Oh, there we go. They get there, and he's like, tell me like. Two things that are on your mind, and he's like, I'll tell you two things that are that are on my mind. And she's like, I'm wondering if I was just someone who needed protection and fell in love with the first person who showed me like that they could protect me.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh, Feyre, great introspective work,
right?
I'm like, way to just like look into.
It's so true.
Yeah, way to look into yourself and like see that.
And that's why like I can read the first book and like not be upset about it. You know what I mean?
Yes. When I reread the first book, I was just kind of like, okay, like she had to go through this.
She had to.
If she didn't, she wouldn't have come.
Exactly.
Yeah, she wouldn't be there.
And she still saved those people, which I think meant a lot to her, and did it like him. So
she still like they like broke the curse. Like Amaranth is gone. Like people are like freed.
Yeah.
Yeah. It had to happen. It had to
happen.
Mm-hmm. Tamlin had to happen.
Tamlin had to happen for Rhys to happen.
Exactly.
But yeah, this is just like. This is it.
It was. I was rereading it, and I was just kind of like, oh, I love this book so much.
It's so good.
And like nothing on like Throne of Glass and Crescent City, but I was just like, oh, I love this book so much.
Like this is not my favorite series, but this is like one of my favorite books.
Yes,
I would say that.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
sweet.
So who are we cheersing to?
Oh,
to Rhys?
Oh, absolutely.
To Rhys? Who else would you cheers to in this situation?
Yeah, Rhys. He's the hero of this book for sure.
To Rhys.
To Rhys. Cheers. And until next time,
for ACOMAF.
Yes.
ACOMAF.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.